At any given moment, our environment is full of many different sounds. While at a football game, you're able to hear the crowd cheering or booing. You're able to hear the announcer introduce your favorite running back. And you're able to hear the smack from a really great tackle. While at a family dinner, you're able to ignore all the background conversations that are going on, and you're able to focus on the speech of the person whom you're speaking with. For most individuals, this ability to organize and understand all the sounds within our environment is seemingly effortless. However, the processes that are involved within the brain that make this possible are extremely complex and not fully understood. And for some individuals, such as those living with autism and schizophrenia, this task is difficult to achieve. The task that I have just described is known as auditory scene analysis, and scientists, such as myself, study this topic in order to gain a better understanding of how the auditory system functions in order to produce our coherent perceptions of sound. Through research on auditory scene analysis, we have discovered that your current perception of sound is affected by your previous experiences. In other words, if you are presented with a sound, your perception of that same exact sound can change depending on what you previously heard. So how does this happen within the brain? This is what my research focuses on, and I'm going to be using a technique known as EEG to help me answer this question. EEG records brain activity with great temporal precision, within the millisecond range. And this is important because precise timing information can tell us a lot about when and where a certain process happens within the brain. So I'll be having participants complete a behavioral task that investigates the effects of our previous experiences on our current perception of sound, while simultaneously recording brain activity using EEG. I will then analyze my data in such a way that I am able to see what neural activity is associated with certain behavioral responses, and ultimately with this effect of previous experience on our current perception. As I mentioned earlier, the processes that are responsible for producing our coherent perceptions of sound are not fully understood, but this research will help us to understand how our previous experiences affect our current perception and how this happens within the brain, while at the same time providing us with more information as to how the auditory system works in general. Now, this is important for developing treatments and therapies for individuals living with conditions where sensory processing is abnormal. Through research such as this, we will be able to improve the lives of many individuals while also learning something a little bit more about this great machine we all have, the brain. Thank you.